Hi there, everybody. Cliff Barron from Remax here with my update for Milton, Georgetown Glen Williams for March 21st to the 27th, 2021. It's still busy, as we all know, but it's starting to flatten a little bit, but it's still busy. But let me tell you a story first. Before I get there, let me tell you a story. So I've got another story. Like I said, I got a lot of them, but this is a story about. It didn't happen that long ago. As we know, the market right now is just insane. And most offers are coming in without a home inspection, without a financing clause, without anything. So they're just basically firm deals. Once once the seller accepts an offer, it's a firm deal. It's done. So you don't have the chance to do a home inspection these days. It's not easy. So so I have these clients that they're a young couple looking for a kind of a starter-ish home. I won't say where, but in the semi-detached, small detached sort of range. And they insisted on putting a home inspection clause into their every offer they put in. We ended up putting in, I don't know, 6 or 7 offers on different properties, and we lost every time. But there's one where we managed to win the bidding, and we put an inspection clause in there. And this is what happened during the inspection. This is the interesting part. So inspections usually last about 3 hours, and the good thing is, like, I've done so many deals over the years, and I've been through so many homes, I can kind of get a really good idea of what to expect before an inspector even comes in. There's a couple things I can't do, and that's go on the roof. I can't see behind walls, and I can't check the panel. Obviously, I can't unscrew the panel, and I can't go in the attic. So those are the big things that I can't check for. But everything else I can kind of get a visual on. Even though I always recommend a stager, not a stager, a home inspector. Sorry. Anyways, we put in the offer. The offer is accepted. There is an inspection clause in it. We do our home inspection. I'm sitting there doing work. I have to be there present for the home inspection. So I'm working on my computer. And, the last thing my inspector does is he goes into the attic. That's the very last thing he does. And then once he's done that, he comes down, he fills out the full report, and then we're good to go. We can either decide to accept the home or, not accept it, or ask for a few repairs, or take it as is, all sorts of stuff. So anyways, my inspector, this is getting towards the end of the inspection. My inspector goes into the attic, and it's a tight space. It's an older home too, very maybe 100 years old or so, semi-detached. And he goes into the attic. He comes down and he's laughing, and I'm like, well, what's going on? What's so funny? And he goes, I've never seen that before in my life. And I'm thinking to myself, what has he seen? Did he see a raccoon staring at him, or what was it? What was it? It had to be something. So anyways, he shows me a picture. He gets out his phone. He shows me a picture. And it shows chicken wire and a sign on it that says no trespassing, keep out. So in other words, we were baffled at that. I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, think about it. It's a semi-detached home. So I Googled it. I Googled the address, and sure enough, it turns out that in the past, at some time, I don't know if it was I think it was a kid, was going into the attic on one side of the semi, going through to the other side of the semi, and then down when the people were away at work, and stealing things. So the homeowners on the house where things were getting stolen went up in the attic and put the chicken wire across and said no trespassing. So I don't know if it worked or not, but as soon as my clients saw that, they were like, no, we're out. We're not going through with this one. So that's an interesting story. I've never seen that before, and you never know. Maybe I'll see it again. I doubt it, but you never know. Anyways, okay, getting to the stats for Milton and Georgetown Glen Williams. March 21st to 27th, like I said earlier, it's still very busy. Let's see, older detached, there were 6 sales in Milton, 1.083 on average. 33 sales of the larger detached, the newer ones, 1.283 on average, slightly lower than last week, but not much. 8 sales of semis at 952 on average, and 31 sales of townhouses, 869 on average. It's kind of starting to peak, like plateau a bit. That's what I get the feeling. And then in Georgetown Glen Williams, there was 16 detached, 1.159. That's significantly lower than last week, but that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes you get the up and down, but as long as it doesn't go completely down, that's a different story. Then older detached, 6 sales, 967 on average. One semi sold, just one, at 600,000, but it is in old Georgetown and a tiny little semi, so it's not really. You get semis in Georgetown that are in Delrax that go for 800 these days, and then 3 townhouses sold for 793 on average. There was one condo town sold in Georgetown. at 466 on Wiley Circle, but that's it, which is low, but it was a small little condo town. And then in Milton, there was 9 sales of condos, 590 on average. The number's still ticking up a bit, and condo towns 792 on average. But it's starting to slow for those categories. So that's my update for March 21st to 27th. Hope you enjoyed my little story. I'll have more because I got lots. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.